Hello, everybody. My name is Tiziana Inesi, and I'm client manager for Kilpatrick Executive, international headhunting and HR consulting company. We are very pleased to welcome you to the podcast Türkiye Through Her Voice. The aim of the podcast is to give voice to Turkish ladies who have reached leadership positions inside and outside of the country. We will listen to their story with an open mind to understand the reality better without stereotypes. Today, I'm very happy to welcome Nazlı Gülbaran. Hoş geldin Nazlı.
Hoş bulduk Tiziana. I'm happy to be here.
So Nazlı and I met, I think, 8 years ago or something. 7-8 years ago. And actually, I was witnessing some of your changes in the career, which from time to time maybe put you in outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Shall I say this? Is it okay for you? Are you recognizing yourself in this?
Yes, of course. And I like, stretching myself and always trying to leave the comfort zone. So thank you for saying that. I agree.
So now, Nazlı, you are a professional coach, but you have over 20 years of experience as in leadership position in HR, finance, people management, through different industries.
Yes.
If you were to talk about your career, how would you describe it?
Actually, like you said, I have 24 years of corporate experience. And I worked across different industries, pharmaceuticals, oil and gas, HR consultancy. And throughout my career in these 24 years, I assumed 12 different roles. Actually, from finance, like you said, I started with payroll, financial controller, business finance, and then finance manager, SAP lead, HR, change management, operations, commercial operations, etc., etc. So I would define myself as a person who is very curious to learn new things, actually also has courage to try new things. Because I worked in very different disciplines, and it added so much to the Nazlı that I am today. And I'm still, I believe so much in lifelong learning, continuous learning and development. So I'm still working on myself, on my career, on my aspirations. So that's actually a couple of sentences about me.
And you have mentioned some of the industries where traditionally men leadership is more present rather than female leadership. Did you experience during your career, for example, in the industry of oil and gas or pharmaceutical, any skepticism towards you being a lady?
Actually, I didn't. I think I was fortunate because all the companies that I worked with really good leaders, and supportive leaders and supportive environments. So I personally, in my career, did not live that. But of course, there is the reality that there is gender bias, there is a class ceiling still in Turkey and in the world. So I think it is getting better, but there is.
And your experience, I mean, in finance, maybe you could have experienced only in your career, these kind of barriers. But when you were working as HR manager, did it ever happen to you to detect some situation where you might be, okay, this is a gender-based discrimination?
Exactly, yes. Most of the time it was like, there is a terminology, it's called unconscious bias. Actually, it is unintentional most of the time, not with bad intentions, but people just make assumptions. about men and women. For example, during rotation or promotion meetings, like she is a woman, she has children, can she travel so much or can she relocate, and questions like that. Or some of the roles still some people think are more like soft skills. Soft skill roles are more like women oriented roles, and harder technical are more male oriented roles. But actually in my career in the countries that I worked, actually we overcame these biases by creating awareness and to take good decisions. But of course, as an HR person, I observed uh, 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 cases like that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And do you think that in the company, at least the companies that you know that you have worked for, did they actively create some policy in order to overcome eventual discrimination between women and men?
Ah, yes, actually, all kinds of discrimination, including gender one, of course. I know that the companies that I worked, most of them were multinational companies, and they have very strict procedures about, anti-discriminative, because binded by the laws and regulations. So actually, there are the procedures which are in force.
And do you think they are only formally there or they are really put in place?
Um, Actually, some people might think that they are formally there, but I know that as the years go by, I have lived it in my 24 years of career. Also, it is getting better. You know why? I think because the logic is very simple. Every company wants to earn money. Maximize shareholder value, create value. So it is important that when you make a decision about a promotion, recruiting somebody, whatever, you have to recruit the better fit for that position. And gender doesn't enter in this equation. So more and more companies started to realize that. I mean, I always saw in my career that multinational ones are more professional, more corporates. There are the procedures, but also the people, the mindset, the culture of these companies are also there to actually fight against these all kinds of discriminations, gender discrimination and bias.
Okay, happy to hear.
Yes.
So. And now we might create a new stereotypes because I wanted to my next question. I wanted to ask you if you think that there is a difference in the way female leaders and male leaders are facing management change.
I think there is. Actually, I don't want to make generalizations also myself, but there are some patterns. I think, for example, change management is not about the gender, but it's about leadership style, But we know that women has a tendency to emphasize more on empathy, coaching, listening, developing the teams, and the communication is important, and also emotional intelligence level pattern of women is generally higher than men. So this is actually called transformational leadership. So especially during uncertainties, it's very powerful, that style of leadership. So women have a tendency to use this skill set more often. However, it doesn't mean that men do not have that. I have worked with many male colleagues who can also apply these transformational leadership skills. But I think there are patterns.
Do you think that women are more flexible towards changes? They are welcoming them better than men?
I believe yes, because being a woman, not only in the professional world, but in the life in general, you have to adapt to many changes. Uh, more and more men are supporting in the family life and other things, okay, but most of the time I see that women react very fast to changes in the lives.
So in the life and also in work.
Everywhere, the work life in general, work and professional and private life. So it's applied to the professional one as well. I agree with that.
Very good. And do you think that still in Turkey we have a concept that some roles are particularly indicated for males or better suited for males rather than for female leaders? Did you ever experience something like that?
I actually, in my own career, didn't experience. Because as I said before, I worked with very supportive leaders who actually valued potential and performance, merit.
Were which leader females or male?
All of them, both males and females. However, it doesn't change the fact that there is still glass ceiling in Turkey and also in the world, not only here. But what makes me happy is that I see in the last couple of years more and more women are actually started to break the ceiling, the glass ceiling. For example, when you look at the proportion of executive roles in Fortune 500 companies, as of 2023, 40% of the executive roles are women roles. We still have way to go, but like around 10 years ago, it was 15%. So now it's 40%. So actually, it is getting better.
You're not talking about the world or?
I'm talking about the world, but I think Turkey is similar to the world in that context. I would say again that, according to my experience, in multinational companies, the glass ceiling actually I didn't observe. In more local and maybe smaller size companies, more boss, not less corporate companies, I observed them more. But I know that they started to realize that it's about who does the job better. It's not about being a man or woman. That's why I look at this positively, but we still have way to go.
Long way to go.
Long way to go. Yes, exactly.
Nazlı, we have here a younger member of our Kilpatrick's Turkey team.
Yes.
And she would love to make a question to you to give advice to a young lady that is starting her career now.
Oh, I will be happy to address this question.
Thank you, Tiziana. I'm Berjeste and I work as a consultant at Kilpatrick. My question is, I know that you started your career in coaching. What advice would you give us young Turkish women to reach leading positions and overcoming gender barriers?
Oh, that's a very good question. Thank you, Berjeste. As a coach and also as a professional who worked 24 years in corporate world, I can say, first of all, believe in yourself. It's important to have confidence. You are strong and you can do it. Work hard. Be curious. As a coach, I would say that curiosity is very important. Be curious always to try new things, to enter the new roads, to test experience new things in your life. Awareness is very critical. Actually, in coaching, we start with awareness, creating awareness, What do you really want in your career? And what are your strengths? Be aware of yourself. What are your strengths? What are your values? What will make you happy and feel successful and satisfied? And what kind of a person, who do you want to become? These are very basic. They look very easy questions, but they are very tough questions actually. When you start thinking about them, it is actually like an inward process about yourself, but you discover a lot about yourself. And I already said about being curious, curiosity, confidence, courage. I applied it many times in my life, the comfort zone thing, So don't be afraid to try new things. Also enter the areas that you have not entered before. Just trust yourself and work hard. And network is also important. Inside and outside, creating networks and, working with mentors who will help you on your journey. Um, Actually, leadership is not about the technical knowledge. It's about listening, understanding, inspiring the teams, leading, creating an atmosphere, a culture of collaboration and trust. So it's the whole, and you have the strength in yourself. So if you want, you can do it. I would say that.
Nazlı, I now listening to you and also from previous conversations with the other ladies, my outcome is from time to time that if a lady is better than anybody, if they're working hard, if they know what they want, etc., they can reach leadership positions. But I know a lot of average men that have leadership positions. So why does a woman need to be exceptional to reach a position that a man reaches with being average?
Oh, that's a very good question indeed. Because currently we still in Turkey and in the world have this bias. It is getting better, but there is still. So I agree with this, with your thought, by the way. Of course, always competing with yourself to become better, it's very important. It's like a lifelong learning and philosophic kind of thing. So yes, women usually feel like they have to be one step forward in order to be appointed. If actually this is another kind of an important kind of discrimination, like a man and a woman in the same with the same qualifications, very similar. How is the decision made based on? So I think in this case, it shows that we need to work on the gender bias.
As an HR, did you ever experience like a salary gap in based on gender, meaning a lady that is making a role is earning less than the male making the same role?
Actually, I didn't. And I worked. I started my career, in finance, in payroll. So since the beginning, I worked very closely, even when I was working finance, with the compensation and benefit colleagues also. And I did hands-on compensation and benefits with all these surveys and things. We don't have that in Turkey. And actually, I was very surprised. A friend of mine, a European lady, said to me that it is an issue in Europe, in many countries. And I was surprised to hear that.
Well, it's a good thing that in Turkey this is not the case.
No.
Okay, Nazlı, to wrap up, we like to ask at the end of each episode to our guest a question. Do you think that in Turkey we are going in the right direction to arrive to a world where women and men can share the same opportunities and the leadership equally?
We still have a way to go. We are progressing slowly. I mean, actually, I can make kind of segmentation here. In the professional world, more professional corporate companies, I see they are progressing very, very well. And I know many companies who actually gender bias is not an issue. The others are moving also, others less professional, less corporate, but they are aware of the fact that merit is important. So the decisions should not be based on gender, but it's on the right person for the right position, it's very critical. But on a macro level, as a country, I think we still have many things to do. For example, for the gender bias thing, for example, in Turkey, it is still an issue that when a woman becomes pregnant, because she has to take the maternity leave a couple of months, she will not be able to work. So some companies are very reluctant to work with a lady
between 25 and 35.
Say, oh, okay, and I'm so sad to see this, and so sad and frustrated. But it's something also, not only the companies, but also the government's approach would be very important here, supporting more women to enter the workforce, like opening more nurseries, kindergartens, where they can afford. But because not every woman is so lucky that they have the mothers, the parents around to look for the grandchildren, and so or paying so much money to babysitters or something. So it should be actually, there should be social policies in the country. And currently, I think we are not in a good place, I have to say, in the macro level. So I hope, and I will continue working for that, to change this mindset and take actions on this.
Now that you were talking, it came to my mind an experience I had in Bursa, where there was a textile mega factory, and they had a lot of attention to women, to support for women's and helping families, etc. And they have created a nursery inside the factory, so the ladies were going to work and the child could stay close, for example, in the time where they are still breastfeeding. It's very important that the child is not miles away, that it's just reachable every time he or she want to eat. And it was for me and it was around 10 years ago. I mean, even not now. And it was very interesting and surprising for me that in Turkey, sometimes from time to time, you find realities like this where there is a very big attention and awareness of what means supporting ladies and families.
Yes.
I agree that this should be more from the government side also, that support can not only be, like companies doing, investing in this kind of thing. It must come also from
the government, like subsidies and other things, like maybe some, social security cost reductions and all these things, yes. If they want to do it, there are many ways to do it. It's important to decide.
Very good. Nazlı, thank you very much for being here with us. I'm sure that our listeners took a lot from your experience and your advices. Now, for you guys, stay tuned to our new podcast next month. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.